freaking live. We're going freaking live. And we're live.
And we're live. Let's see when it shows up in my feed. I get ads in the top of my feed now for everything. Have you noticed that?
That's because Google is the devil.
Google is the devil.
As is Amazon and Twitter. All of big tech has apparently become the devil.
They have been.
Thanks,
All right.
Elon.
Alright, so that's live.
We're live.
Can you see the chat over there if anybody decides to join us live in the
I
chat?
can see the chat. It is directly in front of my face hole.
Face hole.
So we don't have any echo or anything?
I didn't hear any echo.
What a delight.
I'll have to see if anybody.
What a joy. It only took us 45 minutes to start
Yeah.
the stream, but you know.
If anybody comes in and tells us that there's something, let us know.
I'm gonna share the shiznit out of this. My sister tagged me in a post. I don't know what the heck that might be, but probably something silly.
Reel? We'll do a reel. Now you can create longer reels.
Long reels, that's what they call... Oh, never mind, I'm not going to do that. Almost went inappropriate. Oh no, this is not a Blue podcast.
Hello.
Hello!
From BanthaMilk Podcast, we're finally going live on a Sunday night.
Yes.
Stop in and join us in YouTube.
Bring your BanthaMilk.
Bring your BanthaMilk.
Ice Cold, 1776 is here. No echo, love the art. There it is. What's up, Ice Cold?
All right.
How cold? Wait, anyway, see ya.
How cold is ice cold? All right, join us in the chat on YouTube, BanthaMilk Podcast. Peace.
Yeah, tell your friends. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Hide your mom too, because they're BanthaMilk podcasting everyone out here.
Share to Reels. That's been shared to Reels.
Are you for real?
For Rizzle.
Oh man, Rob, you are just.
I am.
You are.
I'm biting
paragon.
my fingernails on
live.
YouTube,
Goodness
yeah.
gracious.
All right, let's get
Our
this
adoring
started.
fans, what will they think?
Ice cold. Here we go.
What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh no, we didn't do that thing that we do.
Oh, that's right.
That thing.
That was a movie and a TV show.
And that was very loud, by the way.
That was very loud.
Maybe let's turn that down.
We'll turn that down. On this episode of BanthaMilk Podcast, it's a grab bag of stuff.
Stuff and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fluff and stuff.
Oh boy, is it. It sure is. Oh man, I should have had a little sip of this earlier. Does it? I feel all warm and cozy. How we doing, Rob?
How are you? What's
delight.
happening?
Not a whole, well, a lot actually. A lot is happening. But you know, we're here back again with another episode of BanthaMilk Podcast.
Yes, BanthaMilk Podcast. I'm kicking into my BanthaMilk since it's an hour and a half after we should have started.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Who's to blame for that? It's me, and I'll tell you why right now. So as you can see, if you're joining us on YouTube, which at least 1,000 of you are, thank you to the 1,000 of you right now that are joining us.
Listening at home.
We usually start with a pretty low live stream count, and as we get to the end, we'll usually be up to our normal amount. So
that's right.
Apologies that we only have 1,000 in there, but you know, and make sure you tell people join us. Either way, you'll notice if you're in our YouTube that we are very festive today. We are in the holly jolly spirit.
Holly jolly spirit.
And we are wearing Star Wars ugly Christmas sweaters.
Star Wars ugly Christmas sweaters.
One of which is a little tight.
Little tight.
I got to tell you, I've gotten several hints recently in my life that I need to start working out again.
Is it the fact that you go home and just eat bags and bags of potato chips?
Dude, it's not potato chips. Let me tell you what it is. And so I don't eat much during the day, but I get home and I'm like, I devour. I eat like something in my day at school, and then I get home and I have dinner, whatever Pagan makes, and then Pagan goes to bed, and I just
and
like
the cupboard
whatever.
opens.
Yeah, it's like peanut butter by the spoonful, and like whole bags of dried mangoes, like anything chocolate I can find, and like you know what the best is like cold leftovers.
Yes.
So like it's bad, and I'm up with the kid late.
Yeah.
So
then you're just eating all night long.
Yeah, and before COVID, you know, I was gymming 5 to 6 days a week. That's not happening. So I need to go
it's
back
weird. When I go to the gym, well, never. and eat twice what I used
I
to
don't know.
eat.
Don't you go to the gym at least like 2 months a year when you do Biggest Loser?
I go to the gym for those
That's
2
coming
months
up,
of Biggest
right?
Loser. It normally starts in like March, April-ish,
Okay.
because it goes into the summertime, and then I crush it. I will say
Crush it.
this: Trey came home on Friday, and he started going to the gym at Drexel.
You looking buff?
He's looking buff.
Yeah.
Well, he walks on the treadmill. He
Okay.
walks at a gingerly pace at the treadmill.
Hey man, anything is better than nothing.
That is true, and I was always giving him a hard time because, like, he'll do the treadmill and I'll do the elliptical, and when I get off, I'm sweating and I'm like in a pool of sweat,
And he's
and
just
he's not. He
yeah.
just has a slight glow to him,
Sure.
and I'm like, dude, like, burn some calories. But just by doing it, it's still burning something that it wouldn't be if he was just sitting on the sofa. So there's that going.
So anyway, I think the guy in there is talking about the sweatshirts, right?
Tom says your mic sounds like it is off. All right. Are
That's
you
weird.
only getting it through your mic?
I don't know. I heard it pretty good. Okay, earlier. Go hop into the stream and check it out. It does sound like you're kind of low, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't you crank yourself up a little bit?
Well, I'm getting it here. Nice.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
This might be. You know what I think? This might be getting it through this mic here.
I think you're getting it just through your computer mic.
Well, let's keep talking, I guess, and we'll get back to this chat. But here, let's add a new source. Is that through here, the soundboard?
No, the soundboard is coming through my Video Ninja. So turn my mic on and turn your mic off.
I see what you're saying here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this mic off all the way. Look at that. Live, there's no sound. That's really strange. I don't know why that's happening. Here, let's check this. And you can hear us now, probably, just not very well. We're checking things out. Give us a second.
Checking things out.
You know what? Control. That's what I don't want. Control audio via Streamlabs desktop. Let's try this.
Oh, there we go. I heard you.
But I put our. This is this mic.
Oh, that's the mic from your computer over there?
Yeah, here, let's see if I can do this. Check.
Yeah, because I can hear me when you're saying it. Oh, now you got rid of me altogether.
Yeah, because it's in this. Yeah, it's this thing. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. We really thought we had it, too.
Yeah.
Is someone
He said
texting you?
sound is back. Is it back for me? It's a good thing we have somebody who has a direct. Yep, but you sound the same. So we're still just getting the sound through your computer.
Pump up this so they can hear both of us right now. The only issue is that, yeah. Are we getting an echo right now? Someone tell me.
Let me see. We're trying, fixing things on the air.
Oh, look at this. Hold on, it's on monitor only. Mute output. Let's say monitor off. Monitor and output.
Monitor
and
you
you have like a green glow.
Did
Did you change your camera to
I
that?
did
Or
earlier. Let's see. I did. Can you update it to live now? I just turned everything else down. Let's see if that did anything.
Live.
Checking, freaking checking.
Now there's like a super echo, but I don't know if no echo. You just sound like you're 15 feet from your mic. Okay. Well,
is there anything happening right now?
He says that's better. Now whatever you just did says that's better. And Ice Cold 1776 says no echo.
I think we're good now. I think I finally got it. I've said that 3 times already.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, whatever. We get the Audacity is coming through. I just have to edit out these 5 minutes of all this.
Yeah, that's it. We got it.
We got it now?
We got it. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Man, between this sweater and this hat, I really
the content that we're churning out. Thank goodness we got it live. Otherwise, I don't know what would happen.
I know.
Anyway, Trey's
coming back. Added to the bloopers. So Trey, long story short, Trey coming back, we're working out, and then on top of it, today I went to. I can hear you chewing in the microphone.
It's all back up.
It's ASMR on top of everything else.
Right.
So my Planet Fitness got new massage chairs, just like the ones that you see in the mall. I don't know how much you have to pay to sit in the
There's one in the teacher's lounge at the high school.
Oh, really?
I've over the summer.
Okay.
When I was there for marching band, I
use my back daily. Yeah.
I would pop in there for half an hour at a time.
So I did it for 15 minutes, and let me tell you, our good friend Tom Amin, I put his music on.
Oh yeah.
So I was listening to Tom Amin while sitting in a massage chair. And Tom Angelone just said it both sound great now. So that's good.
We do. We have mellifluous voices.
That's what we do. So Tom Amin, another great shout out. If you're ever sitting in a massage chair, the best thing to do is play some Tom Amin music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or if you're trying to go to sleep or get your, near 2-month-old child to fall asleep.
Right. Tom Amin music is great for all of that. Yeah.
Anyway, we got into this talking about Star Wars sweatshirts, right? Because
Star Wars sweatshirts,
Rob is so very holly and jolly. He's got his Darth Vader.
I have my Darth Vader ugly
Christmas sweater, and he's got his Yoda ear Christmas hat, which I also have. Next time I'll bring it. And I've been wanting a Star Wars ugly Christmas sweater for literally years, and I've just never pulled the trigger because they're stupid expensive.
Yeah.
There's a Star Wars tax. Hey, this is cool. You'd pay this much. Let's add $20 or $30 on it.
Right. Just because it's Star Wars. Yes.
So learning the joys of one of the joys of learning that you have ADD as an adult is you get to go back and look at your childhood and go, oh, that's why I did it that way. Because I got 2 moments of hyper focus today. One, I cleaned the kitchen spotless.
Nice.
Oh my God. This morning. I just wouldn't stop. And then 2, I was getting a freaking sweatshirt. And so I went to Walmart and I went to Target and then I finally went to Kohl's until I found one finally. Right. Only one, and it's too small. I've got that dad bod going. But it fits. It's on. It's Grogu. Moral of the story is I think retailers need to realize that men want ugly Christmas sweaters. Right. They want them with Star Wars on them.
Yes.
Stock them in your stores.
Stock them.
Anyway,
of them.
We are here and we are feeling holly and jolly, and we've got our BanthaMilk already poured.
We have our
we're like an hour and a half into this, John.
Yep. I have the Kona Big Wave again that I had from a couple episodes ago. Because I had a 6-pack of that, John.
Sure, and it's probably the second in that 6-pack, right?
It is because it's the second episode that I've used this for.
Yeah. Rob's a big drinker, as you can see.
Lots of it, yeah.
Pounds.
All of this extra weight that I put on is not from drinking beer, that's for sure. Yeah. It's strictly from eating from the time I come home until the time I go to bed, and then staying up later playing Minecraft with my friend Tom, who has matching Darth Vader sweater with me. He wants to go through the mall.
Who does?
Tom.
Well, Tom just said in chat that it's not you. Their sweaters are 2 sizes too small. And I will tell you, I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, the sizes,
right.
I love Frasier and Martin Crane. There's this one episode where it's just like, oh, they shrunk them. I don't want to be that guy. I understand what's happening, but I fit fine in medium clothes.
Right.
Especially the first time I wear them. After the first wash, it becomes iffy.
It does.
Some things are not. Some things work because they don't. But the first time, I should be able to fit into this.
Yes.
Putting it out there. And I chalk this all up to the unrealistic expectations that Hollywood puts on men for their body.
Right. Just men, not on women at all.
Well, there is a lot. Listen, you're right. But I talk about it a lot because there is a big conversation about the unrealistic expectations that women are put, because there are, but
Yeah.
there are a lot of unrealistic. Look at Chris Hemsworth. My God,
Right.
come on,
Yeah.
give me a break.
Or
Like-
even I listened to Smartless, which is Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes.
Mhm.
And Jason Bateman always makes fun of Sean Hayes because Sean eats like I'm going to say a normal person.
Sure.
Sean eats snacks and junk food
Sean
and all
Hayes
that stuff.
from Will and Grace.
Will and Grace, yeah.
I was there. He went to Illinois State where I got my master's.
Oh, nice.
And I was playing the graduation where he got an honorary doctorate.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
did he give a speech
Mhm.
to get that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
He's
40
also
feet
a
from
big
me.
Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
so we have to get him on the show.
I'll get the
Yeah.
ISU connection. With
Yeah,
the
call.
alumni.
Yeah, be like, dude. So they make fun of him all the time, but then like Jason Bateman has like cauliflower. That's all he eats for breakfast. It's just like cauliflower or whatever. Like, so they're constantly starving themselves to have that Hollywood body.
Sure.
And
well, you ever watch New Girl?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of New Girl. I know that at least someone in the chat, big fan of New Girl. I watched New Girl for years. I'm a big fan of it. And you know, I have, like, I've been going up and down in weight. When I started watching it was in like college, and I was a big dude. And Nick, the guy who plays Nick in New Girl, they always joke about how chubby he is. And
Okay.
at the time I was like looking at him like, that's chubby? Give me a
Yeah.
break. He's chubby.
that's not chubby.
And I'm like thinking about all the people like they think that's chubby. What are these like young kids gonna think when they're that's chubby?
That's
That
chubby.
isn't
Yeah.
chubby.
Mhm.
Like, he wasn't cut.
Right.
You know, like Winston was a stick and Schmidt was cut.
Was cut.
And
Right.
then you have a normal looking dude and they call him fat.
And they call
the
him
whole
fat,
time.
and he looks like he's got the normal dad bod going.
And
to
I
him.
was in like my mid-20s and it affected my self-conscious.
Right.
So like,
Yep.
can't imagine others. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. And I say we write to Disney and say
we write
need
to Hollywood just in general.
We need more dad bod Jedi.
Yeah.
and not alien, because they always make the chubbier Jedi
chubby
like
aliens,
No,
right?
we need, like, you know, I don't know, like trying to think of who's like a good chubby.
Well, they
actor
had
right
Dad
now.
bod Boba Fett, and people were like, "What is this nonsense?"
Yeah, but you know what, Dad bod Boba Fett doesn't make as much sense because, you know, the Force can be, you know, a way around a whole lot of stuff. I don't need to be fit because the Force will move my chub around.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I understand. I'm trying to find. Last week I wrote down some notes for us to talk about, because this is pretty much just a hodgepodge episode. I got a lot of things off of the interweb, a lot of news articles and dumb things like that, and we're just gonna bust through them. But
we should probably talk about the social media aspects of our journey, right?
Yeah, go for it. I thought you hit all that. Hit all that for us.
Oh, I will.
Yes.
So you can catch us right here on our live stream, because I know you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All 2,000, 1,500 of you.
Nice.
It's fluctuating up and down.
I understand.
Invite your friends, folks. So catch us on YouTube, BanthaMilk Podcast. You can also check us out on Facebook, BanthaMilk, Facebook.com/BanthaMilk Podcast, or our Facebook group, BanthaMilk Podcast. Facebook group is called Sacred Jedi Texts. Facebook.com/group/Sacred Jedi Texts. We are on Instagram at BanthaMilk Podcast. We are on Twitter at BanthaMilk, although who knows? Like Elon, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like,
we have 7 different color checks right now. I just sent a check for $75.
This check, all the checks. Please.
All the
Here's
checks.
a check. Give me all the checks.
Give me all the checks.
Here's a blank check for all the checks. So who knows? You know, amid the whole Kanye controversy, like,
right? Yes.
I give Twitter like 2 more months.
And there's billions of dollars that Elon spent.
48 billion.
48 billion. And I love my favorite joke about that was from Saturday Night Live Weekend Update. He goes, he beat out the second offer of 0.
I think it was actually Elon himself who said, like, the quote was, "How do you make a small fortune in the tech industry? You start with a big fortune."
Yeah. Yep.
So,
that's how you do it.
Anyway, check us out on Twitter for as long as that's still active. We are also on mostly Instagram and Facebook, right? Instagram at BanthaMilk Podcast, right?
Correct.
So email us at BanthaMilkPodcast@gmail.com. Well, that was hard. Or go to our website, BanthaMilkPodcast.com.
That's right. And check out all of our other friends.
Social media.
We're the only ones that say it in the beginning.
Wow.
The Scraping the Vault guys. I know. Scraping the Vault guys, they say it at the very end. And ears up, he says it whenever Eric remembers to say it,
Right.
because Jason never says it.
Sure.
But ears up in depth, scraping the vault, which is their review of straight to DVD or straight to VHS Disney movies and stuff. The last one that they just did was the Year Without a Santa Claus, because they do a Christmas special every year. So that one, it was very funny. I liked it a lot. And my good friend Asher's in there a lot. He's a real boy, by the way.
The real boy.
Yeah. And then what's their other one? The Supreme Taco Resort.
I would love a taco.
Yeah. Every time we order from DoorDash, they always deliver the food to the taco guys in the building instead of bringing it out back to the trailer to us. I don't understand why.
It's messed up.
But DoorDash, don't deliver it to them. Deliver it to us.
In the back. Yeah,
in the
extra
back.
sour cream.
Extra sour cream around back.
Greek yogurt's just as good, though.
It sure is.
I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream in many situations.
And it's delicious.
Same thing.
There you go. Speaking of those fellas, last week we were talking about that the Star Cruiser was going to have a discount, kind of, if you used your Disney Vacation Club member points, you got 30% off. So I asked them, because two of them are, we'll throw a thing out to concierge right now as well. Because if you want to book a vacation to Disney World, Disneyland, or anywhere else, cruises, Universal, whatever you want to do, hit them up, because they do a phenomenal job and they don't charge anything extra.
Can't you also get some fancy ears to go with that?
You could, yes.
Yeah, through what are they
called? Through the Etsy page.
Yes.
Yes. Ears Up's page.
Cover ears.
Right. Yep. So Jimmy said that points are selling from Disney right now at $207 per point.
Okay.
It was 365 points to book the Star Cruiser.
So you're saying a point is selling for $200 some.
Right.
You need 300. So
you need 365. So you're multiplying 365 times 207. So the special offer would mean a trip is $71,000, which normally it's $5,000. So
you have to spend $75,000.
That's if you're buying the points.
Right.
Now, if you already have 365 points built up, you haven't gone to Disney in 3 years or whatever, and you only want to go on the Star Cruiser, then you're not paying $207 a point for it.
Reminds me of the episode of The Office where they're competing for the costume contest to win the Wilkes-Barre coupon book.
Okay, right, yes.
Retail price of $15,000.
And then Pam was like, or Oscar, it was probably Oscar.
Yep.
You have to spend $120,000 to save that $15,000.
He's like, I can't be the only one that sees this, right?
He's like, most of those pages are stuff you don't want anyway. So, but yes. So there you go. So that was going back to our last week's episode. Freestyle watches. Also, don't forget about them. If you want a freestyle watch band for your Apple Watch, you can get it. Or if you want to go with the old school freestyle watches, buy one of those. We'll have a link in the notes and on our website, 10% off if you use that link. We have shirts for sale. So go to our website to buy some shirts, buy some swag from us, because Jason over at Ears Up won't put any of our shirts on his website stuff. So there we go.
Yes, that's right. Ice Cold. He was a Nader. Ryan voted for him because he was a Nader guy. We'll see if you know who Ralph Nader is. I forget what he was. He was the educated consumer or something like that.
Yes.
But before that, he was like the reptile or something. Anyway. So check out all our friends. That's what we're saying. But we've got some Star Wars things to discuss as we grab the bag. Here we go.
I'm gonna just hit the. That's the new social media. That's not. Oh dear. Oh my goodness.
This is what happens.
This is what happens. Star Wars news. This is what we want.
As Rob gets a what was that, a text?
Instagram from our live reel went out. We're getting all kinds of new followers.
Look at those.
So look at that. Welcome to all our new YouTube or Instagram followers. Check us out here on YouTube as well.
Yes, Instagram.
So there's that. There's a video that just has been making the rounds. Mando in Disneyland came out from behind a rock. The backstage door.
Sure.
With Grogu as Boba Fett was standing there waiting for him. So all three of them were standing there and they were talking to each other. and Mando has this giant pouch with Grogu sitting in his pouch, and it's a very fancy animatronic puppet in his lap that he can make move around and all kinds of stuff like that. You're not allowed to touch Mando or baby Grogu because I'm sure Grogu probably costs about $200,000, and they don't want all kinds of people touching and whatever. So, so that's that. So with that, I had some ideas while I was sitting in the relaxation chair listening to Tom Amin. I had some ideas that would make Star Wars Galaxies even more fun.
I'm here for it. Let's hear them.
And this also goes back into The Office because this past week on Office Ladies, they were reviewing the episode when
I got to get into Office Ladies podcast.
They're really good. They're really good.
They go through every episode, right?
They go through every episode. Yeah, they're up to season 7 already. So you have a lot. You could just listen every day on the way to work. By the time
they get to the end of the thing,
you'll be all caught up. Yeah. But they it was the episode where Andy was trying to trick all these people into coming into the office, and he was selling them these small business packages, which was basically just selling them paper. So I was thinking, he says, or Michael Scott probably said it, you need to have at least one plant in every
Mykonos.
It was Mykonos, which sounded a lot like Gru from
it really did.
He did a lot of Gru in that. So I was like, oh, this would be pretty funny. In Galaxy's Edge, Kylo Ren walks through every once in a while, and when we were there, he walked through and he walked up and he looked at me, and I said, "For the Empire," and he said, "That's original," and then he walked away from me, and it was pretty cool. But I was thinking, if there was a plant.
Now, is it someone in there? Do you think he has like pre-programmed?
Yeah. Somehow, I don't know how they do it. Somewhere in his hands, in his gloves, or something like that. He's got all kinds of different things pre-programmed.
So it's Kylo's voice.
It's Kylo's voice coming through, or he says something, and it broadcasts out Kylo's voice. Cool. So it is pretty cool. Even when we met Boba Fett in Disneyland a couple years ago now at this point.
Tamara Morrison's.
It was Tamara. Voice. Yeah, well, it was actually Tamara Morrison. He was struggling for work.
Well, at that point, Mando hadn't happened. So.
It hadn't happened yet. But no, whoever it was, it had Tamara Morrison's voice inside, so he was saying different things to us, and it was pretty cool. But I was thinking it would be really funny if somehow there was a dad, and you couldn't do it every single time he walked through. It could only be like once a week, because if he did it every time. The
special event,
the thrill of it would be gone. And like, you know how quickly everything spreads on YouTube and social media and stuff. If it did every time, it would be like, oh, watch, here's where the dad's going to stand. Right. But if some dad goes up to him and says something to him, and then Kylo like uses the Force on him, and he's standing on like a springboard of some sort that shoots him back, and he like slams into the rocks. But I have thought all of this, but the rocks are like padded. So he'll fly backwards into these padded rocks, and then he'll fall down, and then like there'll be like kids that are
visualizing, sir.
Yeah. So it's like he's Force pushing him backwards,
sure.
And he jumps back, slams into the rocks, and then it looks like he did it to like a dad or something like that. Some random guy, like not somebody in a
someone with like a fanny pack and white socks up like mid level to the arm,
kind of like at the Phillies game
with like kids with him or something.
Yeah, and then the kids are like, "Daddy, no." Yeah. But like it would have.
You can see in their eyes that there's revenge that's coming. and it sets up a nice rebellion.
Yeah, and then the kid pulls out his own lightsaber, and a real lightsaber pops out, and they have a huge lightsaber battle
I'm
right
all
there.
For all of this.
That would be amazing. It would be totally amazing.
No, but that does sound like a pretty cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah, so that would be like so. But you couldn't do it. It couldn't be something every day. Like it would have to be
like in like video games when there's like special events. Like, have you started playing Stardew Valley yet?
Mm-mm.
There are random events that can happen.
Right.
It's like that. Something might trigger it or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah. So once a week or once a month or whatever.
Disney, you can send your check.
Yep.
Here of BanthaMilk podcast.
That's right. To P.O. Box 123 Fake Street
in Anaheim, California.
So that was my idea to make it a little bit more exciting.
I like it.
So I think it would be
better if
fun.
It was a mom.
Yeah, it would.
People would be more upset.
It would be really cool if it was a mom. Yeah. There's stunt
like
moms.
Like an old mom.
Yeah.
Like with a cane.
With it.
Just imagine like remember the the Six Flags guy, the bald.
Oh
the
yeah,
Six Flags
yeah,
guy, someone who looks like that, but like
right.
just gets blasted.
Just gets blasted backwards.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it'll be pretty cool. It'll be very, very cool.
There for it.
So let's see. Moving on, I have some fun things. I'm going to go through a bunch of short little things, but then there's a couple that are a little bit longer, I guess. NBA Star Wars Night returns to the NBA this season.
All right.
And the neat thing is on this article, they made the Death Star a basketball.
Cool.
So it's a basketball with the indentation where the laser.
That probably wouldn't bounce that well.
No, I don't think it would. But it's a neat image.
Sure.
So I was pretty excited. I'm like, oh, I'll get my tickets. And then here are the games. December 4th, which is today as we're filming, it's December 4th.
It sure is.
The New Orleans Pelicans versus the Denver Nuggets in
they're
New
my
Orleans.
favorite. They're my favorite team just because I like their name.
The Pelicans?
No, the Nuggets.
Oh, the Nuggets.
I just imagine that their mascot is a chicken nugget.
It's a chicken nugget.
Whatever that chicken nugget guy from McDonald's is.
Right.
Wasn't there a chicken nugget?
There was a chicken, but it wasn't a nugget guy.
Are you sure?
Unless
Maybe I'm thinking of Grimace. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Grimace is a big purple guy. Yeah.
Right.
Tomorrow, Atlanta Hawks versus Oklahoma City Thunder. December 6th, Miami Heat versus Detroit Pistons. December 12th, Portland Trail Blazers versus Minnesota Timberwolves. December 18th, Indiana Pacers versus the New York Knicks. San Antonio Spurs on December 29th versus the Knicks. The Knicks are in two different. That's impressive.
All right.
And so is Oklahoma City. They're at Atlanta, and on December 29th, they're at Charlotte. So they're there for two. They must be big Star Wars fans.
So there's a lot of hamburger anthropomorphized.
The Hamburglar was a giant Big Mac head.
Well, no, he was just a dude in striped clothes. But there were Big Mac. There was a hamburger head, and there was a chicken. You're right.
Yes.
So I guess that's who we're talking.
You were combining two different things. You were thinking the hamburger head and the chicken was a chicken.
But in my mind,
guy.
they were the shape of Grimace. You know what I mean? Like a chicken nugget.
Chicken
but it wasn't. It was like,
wasn't purple. It was just
chicken
that
colored.
Okay.
You know, brown, like a crispy golden brown.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Never happened. You are hungry. December 29th in Charlotte, January 9th in Sacramento, and January 10th at the Golden State Warriors. So to show support for Star Wars Night at the NBA, DeAndre Jordan of the Denver Nuggets picked a Star Wars starting five. Who do you think his starting five are? And it can be good guys and bad guys.
Starting five.
Vader's in there.
Skywalker. Is this dude like a Star Wars fan?
He says he's a Star Wars fan, but he picked.
He doesn't seem like a Star Wars fan.
Like, I'm sure he is a big Star Wars fan, but he's not going deep. Probably what they did was they probably just came up to him and was like, "Dude, make a post about your Star Wars top five and do it now." Yeah. So he probably didn't have a lot of time to think about it. Boba Fett was not there.
All right. Maybe Chewie.
Chewie is there.
Maybe Han.
Han is there.
So that's four, right?
Yeah.
The Emperor?
Nope. But think the other way. The Yoda. And then his sixth man off the bench was Rey. So five guys and Rey.
This team sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, what are Leia and Han and Chewie gonna? Or Han and Chewie? Like?
Well, Luke Skywalker, not Leia, but
right.
Leia wasn't there. But yeah, Han just is a good shot. He's not.
And Chewie's tall, I guess.
Chewie's tall and super strong. I don't know.
But that that's good for defense, I guess. But if you're talking pure, talk about a Jedi's reflexes and
like Luke and Darth Vader. Even though Darth Vader, I guess he's going to just choke all the bad guys.
But even if he didn't, we're talking, we saw the lightsaber battle between him and Obi-Wan in Obi-Wan. So he's still got moves. He can still move around.
True. So he can still move around.
I can see him, weaving and bopping.
And he could steal.
I think he's like a Shaq-like figure. You know what I mean? He's big. He can bring it to the boards, but don't ask for him to shoot.
Right. And I can see Chewie being the center where he just stands under the net with a 7'2" frame. And it's just like, he's like Dikembe Mutombo, not in my house.
That's right.
He just does this all the time.
I think that maybe Han would be like Allen Iverson. You know what I mean? Like practice.
Practice? We're talking about practice?
Not the game. Not the game.
Not the game, but practice?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fine. I'm sure they'll do just fine.
They'll do just fine.
I don't put them past, the first,
Yeah.
a couple seeds.
So that being said, I was looking, and there's commercials now in the Philadelphia area, with a bunch of Star Destroyers flying over top of City Hall, um, TIE fighters flying over the river and stuff like that. And then at the very end, it says Star Wars game for the Flyers. So the Flyers, our Philadelphia hockey team, is having a Star Wars game on the 7th
Of December.
of December.
That's in a
So
couple
it's
days.
3 days away. Yes.
A day which you live in infamy. I think we said that last week too.
I think
or
so.
About something. I don't remember
yes,
what.
it
No.
was about yes. So the Force Awakens at Wells Fargo Center. Be there when the Flyers host their annual Star Wars night as they face off against the Washington Capitals on Wednesday, December 7th at 7 p.m. Join us for an immersive game day experience, themed photo opportunities, and more. All fans in attendance will receive a unique Star Wars poster. And you know what's funny about this? Already on eBay,
You can buy
Star
it.
Wars
Yeah, you can buy it.
Posters for sale. I'm like, the game hasn't even happened yet.
Someone in like the manufacturing, like in the factory,
Or
bought
somebody who
stuff off,
has
or-
like season tickets
Yep.
and knows that he's going to the game is like, I don't want this poster, so I'm
Yep.
going to sell it.
Yep.
So I was like, whatever. So yeah, so that's that. So they're bringing back a lot of themed Star Wars nights for both the NBA and the NHL. I love InsideTheMagic.com. Disney quietly releases fan favorite lightsaber.
Okay.
So quietly, they didn't tell anybody about it. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
Spoilers here.
But the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber is back for sale in Galaxy's Edge in both Disney World and Disneyland.
Interesting. It was not for sale when you were there.
I don't
'cause I
think
that's
so.
one of the ones I asked you to get.
Yes.
It was started with, I think,
You wanted
Ahsoka, but
Ahsoka?
I'd like the because you had to get the two.
The
and
two of them, yeah.
Why would I get the one?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, okay.
So yeah, so Obi-Wan's back. They have the one that looks just like the screen one that you just the hilt.
Right.
And then just like with the one that
Like
you
with the
got.
Leia
Yeah, with the
one, yeah,
Leia
'cause
one that you
it's
got.
the same design where it has like the smaller
Very
spot
skinny
here.
at the top. Yeah.
I feel like they should be able to make that work. Like I don't know. It looks fine, but like mine is hanging. It's mounted in my daughter's room, and I look at it like that looks cool, but like it's so much prettier the other way.
Yeah.
But I want it mounted with the thing, so I can
With the
put it on,
blade. Yeah.
And it's
So it's the same thing. It's very
a minor
skinny at the
nitpick.
top, but then it has the attachment that you can put on to hold the blade as well.
right.
And it comes.
And I'm sure it's a legacy blade, which
It
means
is a
you can't
legacy
switch out
blade.
the,
It says it's the same price in this article. It says it's the same price as if you were to go to Savi's workshop. Disney released a package based on the Weapon of the Jedi, leaving thousands. Oh, here it is. Without any sort of announcement or fanfare of online story, they just restocked it. Well, why? Whatever.
Okay, why would they?
Yeah.
Why would there be like,
Right.
hey, we got a new shipment? Like,
Yeah, they're back in stock.
Does Walmart every time they get like Reese's cups in, they go,
Right,
hey guys, but the Reese's cups are
Reese's
back.
Cups are back. They have big Instagram posts all
Yeah.
about the Reese's Cups are back. So you'll get a hilt with the Disney lightsaber blade. Also includes a lightsaber belt clip. Did yours come with a belt clip?
No.
I didn't think so. For the Jedi on the go, and a display stand for the elegant weapon.
So what does the belt clip look like? Can you see?
It doesn't say. It just says
like
that it
mine
comes with it.
has like a little thing.
Oh,
on the
you got a little
bottom
thing on it.
that like it's like a little like maybe you could clip it onto your belt. Like
Yeah, but
maybe
I think it also has like the metal that would go around your belt
That
to
you
put
can-
the hook on.
mine did not come with that.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. So, yes. So that is very exciting news. If you want Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, you can get it again.
And who doesn't?
Talking about merch,
I'll tell you who really wants it is Anakin.
Anakin,
He really
he
wants
does, and he wants the higher ground too.
That's true. Who doesn't?
There's all new merch in Disney World and Disneyland.
Merch.
For marathon apparel, there's a T-shirt, Star Wars Marathon, blue milk check, roasted porg check, Navarro Nummies macarons check, and power converter check, and a Coruscant hat. There's nice Coruscant hats and shirts. Speaking of Coruscant, apparently at one of the D23s or something, they showed a brief in like somewhere in South America. They showed a preview clip and of Mandalorian season
3, right? It
Yeah.
was like a teaser. Of
Yeah, a
some
little
sort.
teaser, and apparently there's some clips of Coruscant in it. So
Okay,
Mandalorian's going back to
the
Coruscant.
core.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Coruscant. Hey, interesting. Wonder if that was that specific Coruscant.
Coruscant.
It's in the core. That
Maybe.
seems silly. Anyway, go
I
ahead.
don't know. Stay on target. The back of the T-shirt, it says the Bad Batch check, the Mandalorian check, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, and Andor. That's neat. But
So-
only 2 of them are checked.
So just popped into my head actually when we talked about that. Do you know the name of the planet that Obi-Wan is apparently from?
Is it
Did you see this?
Nar Shaddaa? Would be awesome.
It is
if it was Nar
not,
Shaddaa.
So from what I read now, I want you to Google it to double check my math here.
Okay.
To make sure I'm not quoting some stupid article. But from what I understand, it's Stu John.
Okay.
Right? Is that the truth? If you pop in Obi-Wan birth world,
Home
Stu John?
planet. Let's see. Oh, my mouse. Bam, 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 bam. He comes from the planet Stu John.
Yeah, apparently it's named after Jon Stewart.
Yeah, this is a lighthearted play on the host name, but Stu John has since become widely known as world and Star Wars canon legend for their. There you go. Look at that.
Look at that. Now, the more you know.
Now you know. Named after Jon Stewart.
Big fan of that guy. Anyway,
big fan. Yeah. So there's Han Solo carbonite blanket. That's cute. When you open it up, it has like a cartoon outline of Han Solo and carbonite.
Sure.
So if you're going to Disney World or Disneyland anytime soon, there's all new Star Wars clothes you can buy for, not normal prices, but Disney normal prices.
Yeah, I went to Disney World when I was 6, and then I went again when I was 18. So using the Pythagorean theorem, I think I'm going again when I'm 70.
Okay,
I think that's how
works.
that works out.
Your kid's going to miss out. You got to take your kid at least 3 times.
Their kid can go with me. There you go.
Now, will grandmom and grandpop take you guys?
So we've already talked about the Disney trip, and we definitely don't want to go until Vanjie's older, can actually enjoy it.
Right.
So we're thinking maybe because our friends Kira and Trey actually had a baby 10 days after us.
Okay.
And they live close by, and so we've talked about maybe when they're 5, 6 years old, actually making that a big trip for our first time. So we're looking at another 5 or 6 years maybe, and then
we'll start saving your ducats now.
Yeah, for real. By then we'll be in our So what is this? Our 3rd year, 5th year? This is our 5th year.
This is our 5th year.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
and we're on episode what?
80, 86, 87.
All right, so another 5 years. Let's say we'll be on episode 160 or so.
Right.
And I can do a live report from the scene.
From the scene, from Galaxy's Edge.
So stay tuned. Hey, folks, you've heard it here live in the year 2027.
Yep.
I'm giving just as much leeway and warning as Disney does.
As Disney, movies. Yes, when they do things and
that
whatever.
Should be before season 4 of Mandalorian.
It should be. It should be. And while you're there, you can you should get them now and save them for when you go, because by the time you go, they won't be around anymore.
That's true.
But they have the new lightsaber Mickey ears headband.
Okay, tell me about this.
Okay, so they're black ears.
Sure.
The left one has a blue outline around it. The right one has a red outline around it.
I see. Do they glow?
And they have crisscrossing. I don't think they glow. They have crisscrossing a blue and red lightsaber stuck to the front of it.
All right, I'm going to look this up.
Right now, they're $34.99. Lightsaber Mickey ear headband. And on top of it, or on the side, it has embroidered MTFBWY. BWY. And I was like, what the heck is that?
I'm trying to do the math. I have no idea what that could be.
May the force be with you.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah.
So that should be the title of our show. MTFBWY. Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at these now. I'm not the person who goes to Disney a lot.
Right.
So maybe it's because I don't get that sort of aspect of it, but don't these break easy?
They're actually a little bit more
durable.
Secure. Yeah. They're not $34 durable, but they're $15.
Now, do you wear yours when you're down there?
Cameron has a pair, and then I made a pair into a hat.
That's right, I recall.
And I wore that, but Cameron has a pair, and she wears.
Do people
them.
Shun those down there who are not wearing ears?
Who are not? It's really funny as soon as you walk in the park, it's okay to wear the ears all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's wearing. Nobody thinks twice about you wearing these silly ears walking around the park all day long. But as soon as you leave the park, don't wear them outside the park, because you will be looked at weird. If you try to wear them around school right now, people will be like, what?
Sure.
Why are you wearing ears?
Sure.
Yeah, but in the park, no problem.
What about like at a Disney, like at the Disney hotels, if you're going to like a fancy restaurant?
Yeah, everybody still has them on.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
like
they
they're
still
dressed
have.
to the nines.
They're dressed. Yeah,
And they've got like their nice shorts on and their farmer's tans. And
yes,
like
and they'll have like a
button-down
polo
shirt
and set. Yeah, but they'll
and
still
they
have their
the
ears on.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting. All
yeah.
right.
So they'll still have their ears on. So here's
Set a reminder. Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Hold on.
For
Hey
2027.
Google, remind me in 5 years to do a report from Disney for BanthaMilk podcast. Okay, well, we'll see what
We'll have to do that later.
every now and then I get weird reminders like that, and I'm like,
Okay.
I'm sure I knew what this meant.
I knew what it
a
meant when
year
I put
ago,
it in
yeah.
there. Yeah. This article is a fun one. Every canceled Star Wars project that was never made.
Oh boy.
All right.
Well, we got Ryan or DB Weiss and David Benioff's trilogy, right? That got canceled.
Well, here I'll just do them in this order because
right.
you're going to confuse me by going out
My
of
bad.
order.
All
There's
right,
and
let's
there's
do
a
it.
lot of them.
I'm sure.
It's crazy how many. I thought there was only going to be like 5 or 6, but there's a lot. Solo by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Yes, this movie did get released eventually. There was the short amount of time where things lied pretty uncertain with it.
Yeah, well, that was
Initially-
before what's his name? Opie.
Yes,
What's
Ron
Opie?
Howard.
Ron Howard, yeah.
Yes.
He jumped on mid-game into that, and they
Yeah.
dropped out, right? Creative
Yeah.
differences.
So this one with these two guys is the one that got canceled, but then Ron Howard took over
Right.
and he made it. So yes, a Star Wars movie done by Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, right?
There were rumors a little while back that Zack Snyder was to pitch a 7 Samurai sort of film to the Lucasfilm. Was that true? We'll never know.
Oh man, that would be great too.
Yeah.
I would be so into that
Mhm.
because Seven Samurais is one of those things that like inspired a lot of George
Oh
Lucas's
yeah,
work.
yeah, and
man.
even Mandalorian and
Oh,
Book of
yeah,
Boba Fett
yeah.
were highly brought on by 7 Samurai.
Yep.
Star Wars 1313. Well, we first revealed that this is from fan side or dork side of the force.com. While we first revealed that this list would feature movies and TV shows, this one just so happened to be an exception. Star Wars 1313 was an actual
A
video game
Yep. Yeah, I remember.
that was
we were really
underway.
excited about it. Yep.
Yeah. This game would be focused on a main bounty hunter in the galaxy. Boba Fett was actively being produced when Disney
This was
brought.
right when Disney bought, and then they sold to EA at some point. But yeah, Disney bought it and scrapped it, and people were
Right,
really
because
upset.
LucasArts was no more, and eventually the
Mhm.
project got scrapped.
Yep, I remember
So,
being upset about that too.
Yes.
Yep.
A Boba Fett movie
Sure.
done by Josh Trank. But yeah, I remember that was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like the second or the third
the non
Skywalker.
saga, like
Mhm.
the sole standalone movie.
Yeah.
I remember there was supposed to be a solo standalone or a Boba Fett standalone. There was going to be an Obi-Wan standalone
Mhm.
that became the mini series. Yeah. All
And
right.
I kept waiting, and then it kept getting bumped and whatever. So someone else would be direct. Eventually announced that the film was Rogue One. So then they made Rogue One instead
Instead of the Boba Fett.
instead of the Boba Fett movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
So
hard left turn, but
yeah,
I mean,
very-
I'm not upset. It was a great
so
movie.
and I remember they were also debating because they wanted to see how Deadpool turned out.
Right.
Because Deadpool is not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a mercenary, just the way Boba Fett is a bounty hunter. And they wanted to see how well Deadpool
He'd play with audiences.
played with
and see,
audiences
yeah.
stuff. Because if that went well, then they were going to try and keep going with the Boba Fett because he wasn't a good guy, and they had never made a Star Wars movie that about a non-good guy before.
Right.
And Deadpool was amazing. I love the first Deadpool movie.
Oh yeah.
It was really, really good. So I was like, this is awesome. This is going to definitely propel the and nothing.
Nope.
So then
Nope,
we got
we got
Dad Bod Boba
Bod
Fett.
Boba, and we got back to
Back to bed.
Bod Boba.
Back to tank bad flashbacks.
That's
Yes.
right.
Star Wars Detours. Star Wars Detours got completely scrapped after filming, editing, and directing.
Jesus.
What you have was already finished. We had a trailer and everything. Everything was all set and ready to go. There were many rumors as to why the show got canceled after it was literally all already made. The most recent and final rumor that we came across was that it was too silly, and some even called it irrelevant for what the company wanted out of the franchise. Interesting.
39 episodes of the show have been produced. Released Their release has been on hold, right? So can you see them anywhere, I wonder?
I don't know if they.
I would love to. This looks like something I would think is hysterical, man.
Yeah, it's a shame because
Weird Al had apparently revealed that he and other cast members had. Weird Al was a cast member.
Nice.
And they had recorded original songs for the series, with the canceled third season planned to feature a musical.
Oh my gosh,
man!
A musical Star Wars would have been really, really awesome. But I guess the zaniness of a Weird Al story was just too much for them to handle. I would love. It's probably just locked up somewhere and has never been broadcasted onto the interwebs anywhere.
Someone on Reddit says, I seen a bunch of it and it was pretty awful. Great idea, but cringeworthy humor. What I saw in no way lived up to the promise of the idea or cleverness of the robot chicken stuff. All right, there you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy was.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I recall after
Yep.
his fiasco. Yep.
He was actually just on Smartless. So it was a good interview. They talked about the security that goes along with Star Wars and stuff like that. And he said the scripts are printed out on red paper.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you can't photocopy of it or take a picture of it. But he said on top of that, it also made it really hard to read the words because it was on red paper. Was so excited they announced we'll be making follow-up original trilogy, and then it didn't. Rangers of the New Republic. Remember this? This was supposed to be with Cara Dune and stuff, but then when she went off the rails, they said forget about it and then scrapped the whole project.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 9 by Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, so in the chat, Ice Cold is saying the third sequel, because there was, and I remember there's concept art from this one that does look really interesting.
Okay.
And there's concept art of Hux committing suicide.
Oh.
There's some really interesting stuff that they were planning on doing in this, and I kind of wish they had gone with it.
They had gone that way instead. Yeah. This says the original was set to be called Duel of the Fates.
Yep.
Not a bad idea per se. Just use the one that we all know, love, and adore now much better. The man responsible for Jurassic World, Colin Trevorrow, was all set to be working on the final trilogy. It's very heavily believed that Lucasfilm wasn't a giant fan of the direction that the film was going in. Ultimately, J.J. Abrams had to step in. The script actually leaked and showed just how differently the characters were moving. So There you go. The Force Awakens, written by Michael Arndt, A-R-N-D-T. Art. Oscar-winning film writer Michael Arndt was actually the first person to take a try writing the script for Episode 7. About a year or so into working on the project, he decided to leave. Once again, this is when J.J. Abrams again had to step in, and alongside him and Lawrence Kasdan, there wasn't really too many rumors as to why he left, but there was rumors as to what he was doing, focusing on the OG trilogy, and even said a Jedi killer was in the mix too. That's pretty cool. An Obi-Wan Kenobi film trilogy, which is what we talked about briefly a second ago. I certainly TV show, whatever. So they turned the trilogy into a TV show instead. It was said to be a trilogy of movies. Billy Elliot director Stephen Daldry was all set to work on said project when it was put on hold in the wake of Solo. At least we still got some great Kenobi content later. A David Benoff and D.B. Weiss Star Wars film.
The Game of Thrones makers.
They
really shot themselves in the foot.
Once they destroyed season. What season was it?
Season
5, 8, 9, 8. 8 was the last season of Game of Thrones. Yeah. When 9. When people, I don't remember. When people weren't happy about that.
Favorite shows of all time that I have not rewatched since.
Yeah.
Like they just did such a disservice to
because it's like the first 7 seasons were good. Amazing. And then the last season was just so rushed.
Because they wanted to get done and get to their Star Wars.
Yeah. And it was even like, instead of doing like 10 episodes, it was only like 8 episodes.
Yeah, HBO offered them more episodes to do and more money to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Ted Lasso. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
I did not. I know you did that.
Yeah, really good. So I don't know, I think they're up to their 3rd season that they're filming now. But in season 2, I think it was season 2, they wanted to do, I forget the actual number, say it was 10. And Apple said they wanted 12. So they made 12 episodes, but there's 2 episodes that have nothing to do with anything else that's going. Like they're the weirdest. The one was episodes. The one was a Christmas episode, which was really good. except it came out in June.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, this is awesome, but why are we doing a Christmas episode in June?
Right.
And then there was another episode. Oh crud! My battery is running low because I didn't plug it in.
Your batteries are low?
That's on my phone.
I see.
And then there was another episode that they did. It was Beard, the one guy, the assistant coach. He just went on this like weird tangent and was like just all over town in like London, like all night. And it was a really, really strange and weird thing. And that was the other episode that they were like, fine, you want us to do 2 more episodes? We'll do 2 more episodes. And they turned out to be these like strange, weird episodes. So this Rogue Squadron,
Right.
Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron, that falls under our category of we might still see it later on.
Right.
In 2020 is not really long ago, blah blah blah. A J.D. Dillard movie, the director of 2 movies called Slate and the other one called Sweetheart, named J.D. Dillard, actually just so happened to be a J.J. Abrams assistant on The Force Awakens. Because of this, he was all set to be developing a Star Wars project of his own. During some promotion of his new movie at the time called Devotion, lots of one-word titles, huh? Dillard was asked how the Star Wars project was going, which he replied it no longer was going at all. So, yeah, that one.
Seems like more Star Wars projects don't happen than do.
Yeah, and that was funny. Like a couple weeks ago, Kathleen Kennedy got told to stop talking about all the projects that are in development that aren't in development yet.
Right.
And you're only allowed to talk about stuff that's actually going to be start filming because
so many things get stuck in production hell in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like there are projects that sit in production for 15, 20 years.
Yeah. But there's 16 shows here, just the Star Wars stuff. Gareth Edwards' Rogue One. That was the other Rogue One. Gareth Edwards is credited for directing Rogue One. However, it was pretty widely known that Lucasfilm wasn't too happy at all with the direction that this film was going. So then they hired writer Tony Gilroy to come in and help fix it. Early trailers might have given insight as to some of the slight changes that were made, but overall it was still a good movie. So I don't really want to call that one a movie that never happened, but they Lucasfilm got scared. They shifted a little bit. Star Wars Underworld. I remember hearing about this. This project was actually canceled long before Disney had bought out Lucasfilm. As a whole, this was going to be a live-action TV show that was nearly all set and ready to go when all of a sudden, as if we weren't already expecting this, George Lucas and team decided that it was way too expensive for its time. Concept footage had leaked years back when this was first happening. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy reportedly took it on and tried reviving it, but to no avail. And then the last one is James Mangold's Boba Fett movie, which, as we said, is new and never actually announced. There were some rumors, at least, that the man, the myth, the legend, who's now directing his 5th Indiana Jones films, James Mangold, was working on a Boba Fett style. Why another Indiana Jones?
Yes. Why? Because Crystal Skull was so great.
I hope this one's better than Crystal Skull. Everybody loves Indiana Jones, but Harrison Ford is now in his 70s. So whatever. But yeah, so there's 16 Star Wars movies or shows or whatever that got canceled before they ever got released.
Yep. Well, we should probably start wrapping pretty soon. I got to tell you, just because my wife is probably going to kill me when I get home.
Yeah.
But we also, because it's been a long stream and somehow.
Well, we started really late.
But even still, it's actually, we've got.
So this one, I just want to do this one real fast. That's the only good one that I really want to do. Disney Plus Star Wars.
All the rest of them sucked.
Yeah,
sorry,
they were just filler. All the Disney Plus Star Wars shows ranked in order.
Disney Plus Star Wars shows ranked in order.
So
we do have to come back and do a show on the Tales of the Jedi. I still have not watched Tales of the Jedi.
Okay, so then you're not going to be able. I shared this with you. I shared it with the BanthaMilk page. I don't know if you can find it or not, but so here's all the shows, and then some of them were from like Clone Wars started on Cartoon Network, and Rebels that actually aired on Disney XD, but they're still showing them on Disney Plus. So we have Andor, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Tales of the Jedi, The Bad Batch, The Clone Wars, Rebels, and Visions. Did you watch Visions?
Oh yeah,
You watched
that was
Visions.
the anime.
The anime, yeah.
Yeah, we both didn't we watch it?
We
Yeah, I
watched,
think
yeah.
we watched
Okay.
at least most of them.
Okay. So, what would you say of all the Disney Plus Star Wars shows? What would you say would be your? We'll go from best to worst. So, what's your best one? Andor, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan.
You know, as much as I like Andor, I think I'm going to still stay with Mandalorian as my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. This website that I got it from, they put Andor at 1. I think Andor is it's only the best for me because it's the freshest in my mind.
Right.
But I think Mandalorian as well probably is one slightly notch higher than Andor. So I would also go Mandalorian 1 and then Andor 2 for me. Would you say Andor next, or Book of Boba Fett, or Obi-Wan?
See, I if we're going about quality of show writing and stuff like that, then yeah, Andor would be 2. If we're going about like what I personally enjoyed the most, I just have so much stake in the game for Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Like Obi-Wan would be there for me because I had such a personal stake in it because I was attached to the character.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, we've talked about it numerous times about how the people who are not hardcore Star Wars fans really liked Obi-Wan because they knew that character.
Right.
But the people who are hardcore Star Wars fans, or even people who aren't Star Wars fans, who were I was going to say able, but who watched Andor, really enjoyed Andor because the writing was so good in Andor. Right. So okay, so you would put Obi-Wan second?
Yeah, I think so. For my personal taste.
Yeah, this is your personal taste. Yep. This isn't the general public. This is you.
I think after that, it's got to be Clone Wars.
Okay.
Nope. I think after that, it's got to be Rebels.
I really liked Rebels. I liked the last season of Clone Wars, but the last season of Clone Wars not reminded me a lot of Rebels, but had a lot of that Rebels style writing in it.
Yeah, I mean, Rebels was just a little more mature, I think, and it was shorter, so they like had a story that they were going to tell in a certain amount of episodes, and there wasn't any filler.
Yeah,
we didn't have the droid episodes. You know what I mean?
Like, you didn't have all
we had some chopper stuff, but you know, it was mostly.
But even the chopper stuff was good chopper stuff. Yeah. It wasn't like R2D2 and C3PO just wandering around and whatever. Like that one was like a really dumb episode. It was
so
like
Rebels, and I think just because there's loads of great Clone Wars episodes, but there's loads of boring ones too. Yeah, there's so many episodes, and it's great, but some of them just like, all right.
Yeah, you had to like really fight through the bad ones to get to the good ones.
Yeah, and they get better progressively for sure.
Yeah, where Rebels, I think from the start,
it's great right away.
It was great right away.
I feel like they got into a groove with Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, all right, this is how we do it now.
This is how we do it. Yeah, and then they had the other one, which I didn't even put on there because that one was specifically for the Resistance. Yeah, that was.
I still haven't watched it.
It was not. It was more kiddie. Yeah. It was definitely more kiddie. Like that was my least favorite of all of them. Okay, and then we have. So, I think, me personally, I would go with Mandalorian, Andor, then Obi-Wan. Then I would go to Rebels, and then we have Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi was good, but it was too short and it was too choppy. You didn't see it yet, right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I've heard that, and you told me last time that if they had put them together as like, 2 45-minute sort of things or whatever, it would work much better. It would work
much better. Yeah. We still have the Book of Boba Fett, the Bad Batch, and Visions.
Boba Fett, Bad Batch.
I agree. I liked Bad Batch. I tried rewatching it because season 2 of the Bad Batch is coming out very soon.
Right.
So I was rewatching it. It's very slow.
And it just doesn't. There aren't enough characters that I really care about.
Yeah.
Like the new batch of good. They're interesting and whatever, but it's. I don't know why I care so much about Hera and Kanan and Chopper and them than the clones, but I do.
I agree. I think those 5 characters, the way they molded together, they were very much like a family.
Yeah.
Very had each other's back. They were all different enough that they weren't just repetitive characters.
And I'm also just a sucker for Jedi stuff. You know, I am that Star Wars. I'm glad that Andor is exploring all this other stuff, but I like like
I like
my favorite things in
lightsabers.
Clone Wars. Yeah, everything in Clone Wars when they got deep into like this Jedi stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and Rebels had a lot of that. Like
Yeah.
it was the training of
Kanan
and
Ezra.
also Ezra.
Kanan training Ezra.
but Ezra also kind of training himself and him
Mhm.
becoming an official Jedi Knight.
Yeah,
There's
and
all
even
that,
even when
Bindu
Kanan, and when Kanan lost his
whales.
vision and still able to
Yeah.
go on and all that stuff. So
It
yeah,
was just all like really interesting stuff.
yeah, I agree. All right, so our ranking was much different than this website's ranking.
Yeah, but they're dumb and we're not.
They're dumb and we're not. Yeah, we're
And it's our
smarter than they are.
podcast.
Yeah, and so
they
that's
don't
it.
have a podcast.
And they don't. Nope, not like ours. Not with the
Losers.
number of thousands of followers that we
We
have.
still got 5,000 listeners right
That's
now.
awesome.
All
Well,
right,
that's
all
good for us.
5,000 chatting down in the
Yep.
chat. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe.
That's right.
That's what they say. Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
Sorry, we don't have our soundboard today. We'll
We
bring
don't.
back the vuvuzelas and the air horns next time.
And all that
hopefully.
other good stuff. So
but yeah, I guess that's what we got for today. We are going to come back at you pretty soon. We've got I definitely want to break down the Tales of the Jedi. So
yes.
I gotta get watching that. I would like to talk about season 2 of Andor, where we think it's gonna go.
Yep.
Wrap up season 1. So make sure you check us out on Instagram, BanthaMilk Podcast.
Oh, I was thinking
medias.
one of the things with season 2 of Andor, K2SO, we saw a droid when he got arrested.
Oh, maybe we're gonna find out how he gets K2.
Yeah, so now we're gonna find out.
I would love to get K2 as a character
during the second season.
There's your teaser for some of our communications next week. We'll be talking about it, right? So put on your tinfoil hats and get it ready for some theories.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Thanks for joining us, both on YouTube, on your podcast, wherever you listen and watch and see us. We'll see you next time from all of us here at BanthaMilk Podcast Headquarters. BanthaMilk Podcast Headquarters.
BanthaMilk Podcast Headquarters.
We have spoken.
We have